Post-match interview here at Stotfold following tonight's 3-1 defeat. Skip, I think the proverbial game of two halves this evening. First half, we went in 1-0 up, probably largely in control of the game, and we probably were for the first 15 minutes of the second half, but from the moment sort of Stotfold equalised, it sort of all unravelled from us from there. How did you see it?
Just as you said it, I think. I thought first off, we've come here with a game plan and we played really well. Played within ourselves, but when I say that is we know their strength, so we didn't want to get caught on the counter attack, and so when I say we played within ourselves, we weren't going to go gun-ho and get caught on a break. We scored the goal. We've had a couple of good chances, really, if people had got on the end of them. Didn't. Had a goal disallowed just before half-time for offside, which on reflection is touch and go, but it probably is off. And then second half, it was really do much and much. We didn't have to go chasing the game, and they weren't really hurting us in the first half. And then we've just had a real bad 5 minutes. I think it's, I don't know, from the 57th to the 62nd minute, we've gone from 1 up to 3-1 down. And the first goal is a long throw we haven't defended, and we haven't won and challenged the second, and he's scored. But I think it's the second goal that's killed us. It is just such poor play from so many players, where we look like we're trying to chase a winner in the 58th, 59th minute, and just settle down and carry on getting back to how we were doing in the first half. And you know what football's like, 1 leads to 2, and in this case 1 leads to 2 led to 3. And after that, I'll give them give Stotfold credit. They saw the game out quite well and sort of killed the game, and we never got any momentum, and we made a number of substitutions because at the end of the day, you've got to give some of these guys an opportunity, and they've all come on and done well, to be fair. It's not them, it's just, yeah, wasn't our day, but we've had about 5 minutes, that's it, and we can sit there and blame all sorts of things if you want to, but ultimately, we were beaten by a team that saw the game out really well. And did they deserve it? I suppose the last half hour they did, but yeah, first half I thought we were very good.
Dave, obviously the Achilles heel seemed to be the set pieces again for us. Obviously the second goal comes from open play, but we seem to have this habit of, in some games where we deal with that type of scenario, we deal with it very, very well, and then we have these little slumps where we don't look like we can defend a set piece. Is that a concern for you going forward, or is that just the fact that it was just one of those nights for us?
No, I'm not going to say it's a concern. I mean, the first goal's a long throw. It's not a set piece. It's a long throw, which we know they were going to do because they bomb in the box. We win the first header, and we don't get out to the shot quick enough, and it's squirmed itself into the corner. The second goal's where we're trying to shield out a play in their corner. We don't shield out a play. They come away with it, one pass where we've overcommitted, and it's straight through, and you know it's a good finish. I want to see the VO to see whether we should have done better with the shot. The third goal is the poorest, so from my opinion, it's one of those. First half we did everything right. You know, James just we've had a chat here just a few minutes ago with the Marsh boys and Adam, and you know they go 1-1, and we're then bombing forward to get a go in front straight away, and we leave ourselves open. I mean that's got nothing to do with anything other than stupidity. That's when them fellas in particular need to get hold of it, settle it down. 1-1, we should still be going on and settling down and winning the game. We dominated it for 60, missed, a couple of chances in the first half, missed in my opinion, absolute sitter in the second half. I don't know, like I say, unless, and I said at the end, if Timmy can tell me that it was further away, but it looked like we just had to nudge it over the line, and we were almost waiting for it to go in rather than taking it and finishing it.
Was that from the corner?
It was a ball back to Charlie, who's whipped it in and just got to go.
Yeah, it was, so from my angle, it was a very good cross, but it was just beyond Temi and Pete coming in around the back.
Maybe, but if you want to win games of football, you've got to be throwing your body at it, haven't you? So, if it's it's beyond you and you're standing up, then dive at it. And you need to be touched, and it's one of those, and that point is 2. And for 15 minutes, look, we've done the same as the first half. We caused them.
That's what the biggest surprise from my perspective was. I felt for the first 15 minutes of the second half, we just controlled the game, and we never really looked like we were in any danger. Yeah. And then from the moment they scored, it completely changed. I mean, even when they went 2-1 and 3-1, you still felt that there was enough in our first 60 performance that maybe there was going to be a response, but we never really got anything going after that.
No, I think the problem then, is that then you're trying to, whereas we're a patient side and we play our way, that all of a sudden you start to rush, we go longer, because the panic sets in of trying to get it back so quick instead of doing what you do best. You know, in many comebacks we've made where we've played great football when we get to it, we're not going to turn Stotfold over going long. It's one of those, we're not going to turn Stotfold over going high. You're going to turn Stotfold over by playing how we do. At times in the first half, we cut them all over the place. They had players in the second half stretching and all sorts, struggling like that, but we've worked them so hard. But the fact is that instead of having some composure and staying composed and playing the way we want to, we're chasing it and we're going mad. And then all of a sudden players are trying to do too much to create unbelievable magic, rather than in the first half where 5 and 10-year-old passes open a side up, not all of a sudden you want to beat 2 or 3 players. So you just, we become a bit frazzled, if I'm honest, and it was everybody. So, so instead of giving ourselves a chance to get back into it, we didn't. I think if at 1-1 we go, right, okay, just settle down, keep things, get back to what we were doing right, then potentially it could have been a different outcome. But the problem is we don't, and by the time, 5 minutes later, as Skip's just said, it's 3-1, so the game's dead then. That was the point where we threw the lads on. We got to look at 1 or 2 of them. Or more important, they got some minutes that they've not had for weeks and weeks. So we got fellas onto the pitch, but the game was really gone then. And I couldn't, I'm going to be honest, the way we were playing that time, I couldn't see how we were going to turn it around. Other than the great save Gucci made from Bondi's shot. I think we had one other shot. I think Alex there was a ball into Alex at 2-1 down, which if he connects,
he couldn't quite connect with the ball.
If he connects it 2-2, and then it's all ifs and buts. If you suddenly get back at 2-2, then the pendulum swings the other way, and we're probably right in the sense in we're having the right going. But you have to give they're second from bottom. They get beat by bottom of the league on Saturday, and today they're beating a side that's joint top. And whatever else you want to say, we can make all the excuses in the world. We can say anything, this, that, whatever. They took advantage, and they deserved their win. And you can dress it up how you like. For 5 minutes, they did the business and they grew in confidence. And I think there was a great save towards the end. It could have been 4-1. There was a corner right into, or a cross right under the bar that we just managed to scramble away. So it could have been 4 and 5-1 if you're really honest. That's all you can be. Be honest about it. We didn't take our opportunities first half when we dominated the game. We didn't take opportunities when we dominated 15 minutes. And because of that, you're always susceptible. And we don't do the right things. We don't, Bondi wins a header. We don't go and close down the shot. We shut it all down first half. Their shots in the first half rolled into Ivy's hands. Second half, they get shot off. Second one, we don't see, we're talking about basics. We don't see a ball out over the line for a throw-in. They run round us, one pass, because we're chasing the game and we're 2-1 down, and then we're back. Then we're up against it because forget the third. Stotfold ain't going to make it damn difficult for you to break him down, and they got it perfect. And say the third one was the worst goal of all, from my opinion, because that was the one we didn't defend properly. But I think by then our brains were scrambled. Probably tell you our heads were somewhere else where they shouldn't be. But that's just a fact. But look, Stotfold deserved to get the result.
Skip, obviously looking at some of the results tonight. We weren't the only ones to come unstuck, so there were a few sort of surprising results, as it were. So not a huge amount of harm done despite the defeat tonight.
Not really. I mean, it's early days, so I think that's most teams' 7th league game. So there'll be what look like surprises, but again, some teams get off to slow starts, etc. So yeah, you tend to look at results, but not look too much into it. So yeah, I've had a quick look, but honestly, I'll just look at ourselves, and I'm only really interested in ourselves. And you look at who we've got next in the league, and you see how they're doing to give an idea of form. But other than that, yeah, we'll dust ourselves down and go again Saturday.
I mentioned the Saturday, Ashford United away, obviously a long trip for us. Can we expect many changes, or would it be sort of more the same? Can we expect anyone to return from injury?
No, look, we've got 2 long-term injuries at the moment. That's which is going to harm us. We get Rio back, but then we lose a couple. So you know, we've been in great nick by having been very settled. We've not really had an injury. I think we've had one probably to Connor, but we had cover, and we've had good cover in that area. But we've suddenly hit a little bit of a patch where they're all forwards, and we can manage one, but we've had a couple of them go quite quickly. So yeah, it's just unbalanced us a little bit, and we've got to try and work out what's the best thing to do. We brought the young Dan in from Cambridge for a couple of games, literally a couple of games. We'll get to see him Saturday. There's a young lad that we've had playing the reserves at the moment that we may look to bring through. And we've got a couple of experienced players that are playing in the reserves at the moment. One in particular trying to get himself back to fitness from a big injury last year, and the other one who's played a couple of first team games this season. So we're going to have to look at it and get our squad right for Saturday. You know, the defence is still there. The midfield will be stronger because Rio's back. We've got to get the forward line right.
Okay, well, commiserations, gents. It's never an easy place to come, Stotfold. So we dust ourselves down and we look to go again Saturday away at Ashford.
Thank you, Lee.
Cheers, Lee. Thanks.